talk now.
From the Padawan Academy Studios, here is the Padawan Collector.
What is up, everybody? Happy Saturday. For most of you in the world, it is Saturday. For some, it's Sunday, I think, right? No, not yet. But anyways, good morning. We usually don't go live, but I wanted to come live because one of my favorite conventions is called the ICCC. It stands for the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention. It's where I love to go to. It's a really different convention. Let me explain this. So I've been to Star Wars Celebration. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con. I've even been to some other larger and smaller, I would say, conventions, toy conventions, pop culture conventions. This one is different because it feels like a homecoming. To go further, there's a group on Facebook called the Imperial Commissary, and this is the group that was started by my guest, Michael Havens, and it was a Star Wars vintage collecting group, right? I joined this group probably 3 months before I decided to start collecting, and I joined the group because I wanted to I'm a big researcher and I like to know all the information. I wanted to know if there was a place I can go to find out more about, vintage toys, especially Star Wars toys. And this was the place. And after 3 months of looking at, everyone posting either what they've bought, what they're going to buy, just historical tidbits of information. If you are a Star Wars vintage collector or a vintage toy collector in general, I would suggest going to the Imperial Commissary just to check it out. It's a private group, so you do have to answer some questions. There are rules that you have to follow, so I would suggest following them because you don't want to get kicked out and be like a, collecting pariah. Just follow the rules and be cool. You'll be fine. Anyways, I like to go there before I started collecting. When I started collecting, it was a great resource for me to do research, to ask questions, to buy my actual action figures. And that's exactly what I did. The first year I collected, I did not go to the ICCC because I just didn't know about it. The second year I started collecting, I went back to my thing of saying that it's a different convention altogether. You go to Celebration and you do feel a vibe. You go to San Diego Comic-Con and you do feel a vibe. You also get the sense that this is ran by a corporation, right? There's people selling to you non-stop. Not that there's places you can buy stuff at the ICCC, but it feels like more of a family vibe. Like family vibe where you bring your family. Sure, there's that, but there's also the family, like, I belong here vibe. Really hard to explain unless you actually experience it. That's the one thing I like about this. It's also very, very small feeling, not small in scale or scope, small in the fact that you kind of know everybody there, or you're a degree of separation from knowing that person. When you go and you do the celebrity signings, it feels a lot smaller and more intimate. When you're shopping for vintage items, if you're on the IC, a lot of the people that you buy from or have bought from or wanted to buy from, they're there selling in person. There's also the room sales where if you're staying at the Sheraton Hotel, which is the main hotel where the event takes place. Last year they did it somewhere else. This year they're back at the Sheraton. I don't know, it just feels different. It's more intimate. If you guys know who Sean Crawford is, he played Yak Face. He was sitting at the bar having a drink, and you can just talk to the people that were in the Star Wars movies. Same thing with Ashley Eckstein. She was just walking the hallways, and I was talking to her and her family, even in the VIP lines to get her autograph. It just seems that she could give more time to her fans because it was more of a chill atmosphere. It wasn't just like, everybody was being rushed. It just feels different. I hope Michael can make it. Michael Havens is the creator of the ICCC and also one of the founders, if not the founder, of the Imperial Commissary on Facebook. He was supposed to be here, not here yet, but the show must go on, right? If he does not come on, I hope he does not get mad if I do the announcement myself, because that's why you guys are here. I'm pretty sure if something happened, he would want me to share that with you. So we're going to get to that in a little while. Hopefully he comes on, but let's just do some let's just do a little bit of updates, because it's been a while since I've been online or live with you guys. So here's what's going on. I finished my playset run. You can watch those. I believe the last 2 episodes are gonna air. I think the last episode of the playset run is going to be how much exactly did all my playsets cost. And I love doing those. Of course, I think everyone that's here has followed my journey. If you watched my last run, the last run that I did was all of the loose action figures that are inside that case. The case, by the way, is made by Collector Displays. I freaking love those cases. I'm not sponsored. I just love that company. I completed that run. At the end of the run, I always do a wrap up saying, here's what I went through. Here are my thoughts. That's always fun for me. The next fun episode is me tallying up everything, because when I start a run, I usually have a good idea of what I'm gonna buy, how much it's gonna cost, because I have to allocate a budget for it, right? I have to know how much I'm spending a month. So I have a loose idea. Chaos always ensues, right? The figure you thought you were going to buy last, all of a sudden a great deal comes up and it's in the price range of what you wanted to buy it for, maybe less. So there's always things like that. Plus, you always get that bug to where on that run, on my loose collection, I was not going to collect the vinyl Cape Jawa. One came up. It was at a very good price. I believe I bought it for around $1,400. Others were selling for at the time, they were selling for $3,000, $2,000, whatever. I just caught it at a good time. $1,400 may be expensive now, or just at the cusp, because the prices in the economy right now are kind of fluctuating. And I'm going to do a video explaining how the economy affects us vintage collectors or high-end collecting in general. I'm going to do a video about that. But there's always things that come into play where you don't expect them, right? You have a plan. It's great to have a plan because you know that you're going to deviate. And as long as you go back to the plan, I think that's a very good idea. So I finished that collection. The fun part about me doing those episodes where I tell you how much I spent on it is that if I was watching it and I didn't know how much these cost, it's like a good, I would say, it's like a good guide for me to say, oh, okay, that it costs that much in that condition, or oh, I didn't know about that playset coming with that, because I kind of go into detail about what I bought, how I bought it, who I bought it from. So it gives you an idea of where I hunted and everything like that. They're just fun episodes for me to do because it's like a retrospective for me, and it gets me ready for my next run. So I'm going to go into some mini runs. I'm going to complete my creature run. Everything's going to be in box. I'm also going to do a little mini series about the Topps cards, and that's probably going to take us into probably the end of October. So if you want to go with me on that little journey, you can. In the meantime, I'm going to do an action figure price guide update. I will include the play sets. Probably that might be a long 2-hour episode, but I am going to do a price guide. It will be very, very quick. It will be very, very informative. I'll try to make it as fun as I can, but it will just be a guide that you guys can say, all right, here are the average prices. And average prices meaning I'm going to take the prices from eBay. I'm going to take the prices from what the groups are selling for Facebook. I'm also going to do a comprehensive kind of delve into what I've seen over at brick and mortar stores, although those prices really fluctuate, mostly on the high end, because every store owner is different, and every store owner might not know what they have, right? They just see a price on eBay and they say, that's great, I'll put it for 20% higher, even though the condition is bad. A lot of these store owners, they don't know vintage toys, whatever line it is. They just see, oh, it's an old toy, it's Star Wars, I'm going to price it high. So unless it's a store that really understands vintage or really understands, the history of vintage toys, I only go with a handful of stores. I will see what they're selling it for, and I'll go with those prices. I include those in the average too. A lot of research goes behind these, but luckily I've done enough. I have enough research at my fingertips, and I can make a phone call to people at any time. That's what I usually do. I hope I don't bug people, but no, that's what it takes. And I love doing it. I think it's part of the hobby for me. It's not just collecting for me. It is really me kind of doing some nerdy research. And I'm also, here's what I'm doing. That's really, really cool. I like to do free giveaways, and not just giveaways to people who follow me on my channel, whatever. I like to give free information packets. I've done it before where I have a complete visual list of what I think an essential loose action figure collection is for the Star Wars vintage. I'm going to do another like little mini PDF with all my best research, the sites that I go to, and there's probably a good 20 websites. I'm going to list some books as well that I think are essential books. I'm going to list some Facebook groups. Not a lot. I don't like to list Facebook. I don't like to list Facebook groups. And here's why. A lot of people collect different, right? Just because I exclude a group or I include a group, that's why I'm on the fence of including Facebook groups, because that to me is a very, very personal thing. Just like I said with the ICCC, a lot of groups have different rules, and a lot of these rules aren't for a lot of collectors, right? Because some people do like to collect reproduction. A lot of the groups that I follow, they don't allow reproduction in there. And that's the way that I like to collect, right? In my runs, I don't collect reproduction because it's not what I want to include in my run. I'll collect customs, right? Like if Kenner did not make it between the years of whatever, I'll collect it, like the Slave Leia. I have that. There's also some other things from a company called the Next 17. I have a lot of their figures. I think they're really, really cool because Kenner never made them, right? I don't care if Hasbro makes them. I like getting custom figures that were never made. It's very, very cool. I think they eventually made a Tarkin, but I know a company who makes a Tarkin. I will buy one of those, right? I'll buy the Han Solo Stormtrooper outfit with the removable hood. I'll buy that because Kenner never did. So, I don't really think that Michael's going to show up. I think our wires might have gotten crossed. I said I was coming on at 9 a.m., but I did list we're going on at 11 o'clock your time. So he might have got crossed up and thought that this was going to happen at 11. I don't know. Maybe something else happened. I hope Michael's okay. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make some announcements. Okay, so I am going to the ICCC this year. And last year, I was invited to be an MC and a host. And I got to interview some people that I've talked to before, but not on this level. So on the main stage, I got to interview Kim Simmons. And Kim Simmons was the photographer. I believe he started in 1981 with The Empire Strikes Back and did all of their packaging, which led into the Return of the Jedi packaging. And I believe some of the Power of the Force packaging. So it was really interesting talking to Kim Simmons because it was more in depth. The questions that I got to ask, I did talk to Kim before and I did set up the interview, but I also left it open. I told Kim what I was going to ask him. And I said, don't answer that right now. I want it to be fresh on stage. Well, this year, I know that Jim Swearingen just got introduced. Jim Swearingen is coming back to the ICCC. So both Kim Simmons, I'm going to interview Kim Simmons. So I'm announcing it here because Kim Simmons is coming. Also, it was just announced that Jim Swearingen is coming, and I will be interviewing Jim Swearingen as well on the main stage, which I'm very, very excited about. I've talked to Jim before, so that's part of the big announcement. First, I'm going as an MC, and I'm going to be on the main stage and getting to interview all these great people, great collectors, or great people in the collecting industry. So Jim Swearingen, who designed the prototypes for the Kenner line, he also developed I like to say he developed the Kenner figures, and he also developed the play sets, designed them, help the designers come up with the final process. I get to interview Jim Swearingen. I get to ask him what it was like, what's it like now. There's going to be some great conversations going on, so I'm excited about that. And Michael Havens, I hope you're okay with this, but we're going to announce one of the actors that is going to be there, and I'll announce that now. We'll keep this live stream super, super short, and then so let's just do it right now. Sorry that Michael Havens wasn't able to come up, but let's just do this right now. So bear with me. We are live, guys. This is live. All right. So Michael Havens, like I said, is the curator, the originator of the Imperial Commissary. I urge you guys, if you are a serious vintage collector, or if you want to get into the community, I would start here first at the Imperial Commissary. But then the announcement that I would like to make, and I hope that Michael is okay with this, because this is why he was on here. Don't know why he hasn't shown up. I hope everything's okay with Michael. But the guest that I'm announcing here that's showing up at the ICCC 2024 in October, Tim Rose, is going to be with us over at the ICCC. This is the man that played Akbar in Return of the Jedi. He also played TikTok. I did not know that Tim Rose also played TikTok, which is cool, because I love that. Was, for me as a kid, that was a scary moment for me as a kid, watching, I believe it's called The Return to Oz, a really dark Wizard of Oz take. I forgot the actress that was in there. I can see her in my head right now. Also played Howard the Duck. Also was on the Dinosaur Show. Very, very cool that Tim Rose gets to be there. I know it's one of the most quoted Star Wars lines in history. It's a trap. I wonder how many times that when people find out that he was Admiral Akbar, that he actually gets that line fed back to him. So very, very excited that Tim Rose is going to be there. Wish Michael Havens was here, because then he would tell us all the other celebrities that just got announced. So I know that, like I said, Kim Simmons is going to be there. I know that, Jim Swearingen is going to be there. Tim Rose is going to be there. I will be there. I can't wait to see all of you that are going to come. A lot of you that I talk to also, are coming to this for the first time. And it's my first time that I went there. I think I was so excited because it was my first toy convention. And a lot of you that I've talked to who are coming to this for the first time are coming because you said that you saw my videos, you started talking about, or you started visiting the Imperial Commissary page, you started dealing with the people there, you started becoming a bigger part of the community. And that's really exciting, because if this is going to be your first time at the ICCC, then we get to hang out. And a lot of people who watch this channel and comment and are part of my membership groups, or a part of my smaller group called the Padawan Academy, I get to meet you guys all there. And this year we're doing a hangout. I don't care if it's at a restaurant. I don't care if it's like right there at the bar or somewhere. We are doing a hangout. The Padawan Academy is going to hang out at this place. I've already gotten t-shirts ready for you guys. It's going to be really, really cool. So I can't wait for that. Like I said, it's like a very cool family reunion. And it's one of those things where I always enjoy going because Michael says that it's for collectors by collectors, and that's what it feels like. He doesn't allow corporations to weasel their way in there. He doesn't allow for high price food vendors to go in there. It's very, I mean, you're going to spend some money because you're going to go there and you're going to buy from a lot of collectors, but the ticket prices, you don't get gouged there. It's always free parking. You don't get gouged there. And I think I read in an interview, I either read it or I actually heard it from Michael himself. Probably heard it from Michael himself, that when you go to a convention, let's just take Star Wars Celebration. You've already spent hundreds of dollars on just the ticket. You've spent a lot of money, unless you're local, to travel there. You spent a lot of money on hotels, and you have to pay an entrance fee, probably, parking or whatever it is. By the time you've set foot inside the door, you're already back a couple $1,000s. And now you have to go in and spend more money on crazy food vendors who take advantage of the fact that you cannot leave the venue. You have to eat there. You probably can't even bring food or drink in. You have to eat there. So there's that thing. VIP lines. I got VIP at Star Wars Celebration, and I got VIP over at the San Diego Comic-Con. Let's talk. I love those places. Don't get me wrong. I love going to Star Wars Celebration because it just feels like a celebration. It really does. When I watch Dave Filoni give one of his talks inside I think it's the big hall over at the Anaheim Convention Center, I got chills, man, because a whole crowd in unison watching a trailer for the first time introduced by Dave Filoni, you get chills. You are in Star Wars. But at the ICCC, it's more intimate, right? You get the same big crowds. I don't know if Dave Filoni will show up, but the first year I came, the whole cast of the Clone Wars, including Ashley Eckstein, which I'm a huge fan of, was there, and it was more intimate. It was more quiet. And it's because of the fact that the prices are reasonable that I think I like it. The fact that a lot of people can save up enough to actually enjoy themselves and have room to go there and toy hunt and have room to go there and not be gouged on food or, whatever it is. Nashville is not an expensive city to begin with, right? LA is expensive. San Diego's expensive. New York's expensive. Nashville, I like that it's in Nashville because, one, it's a great city. I've worked there before. A great city. I love visiting. The vibe is different. I think there's two conventions that I think three conventions that I like having in my rotation: Celebration, ICCC, and I would love to include Echo Live over in the UK as my rotation again, just because I have so many friends in the UK who collect and who I've talked to, that I think I want to include that in my yearly rotation of going to toy shows. And there's always going to be the ones where I get invited to last minute, or where I get invited to be a YouTuber interviewer. I love doing those. But I think for my personal rotation, it's Celebration, just because of the vibe. Oh, San Diego Comic-Con, I don't really count because I live in San Diego and it's like a couple of miles away from me. And I am a member of the museum. I do contribute to the museum, and I always get free tickets. Not free tickets, because with your membership comes the tickets. So San Diego Comic-Con to me is a staple. I couldn't go this year. I believe there's a video coming out tomorrow explaining why. Watch that video. But it's a very different vibe at Celebration because it is so big. It is so Star Wars. And plus, you get to see and meet all of the stars in the Star Wars universe. You get to see pretty much every single toy that's coming out, gadget, clothing, whatever. And there is vintage there to buy. When I went there, I did get some really great deals on vintage because I know the prices. So I was able to get very good prices based on condition. And when I talked to the collectors, some of them knew me. So, they were, I think it is easier having a YouTube channel and knowing that the prices that I buy for are going to be on the air, or they know that I've done this for so long that I kind of know what I'm talking about because I've done my research. And plus, it's like when you're there and I'm talking to people, I talk to them, I think, on a level more than just a consumer. It's like I really like to talk to them about their collection and yada yada. So it's like I just don't like to go there and buy. I'm a talker, man. And I know it's weird here because I'm just talking to a camera. It does feel weird. When I'm in person, sometimes I'm in the zone and I don't. I remember I was at my local toy shop and I was talking to another collector there. And they're like, yeah, I asked if you come here. And they said, yeah, he just comes in, but he doesn't talk to anybody. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes I just like to go and toy hunt and I will not talk to anybody because I'm either just window shopping and escaping and I won't ask a lot of questions. Other times I just go to talk to other people and ask them, hey, what are you collecting? What's going on? What's your name? Like, what are you guys doing here? It's like, oh, that's cool. Like, what do you think of this? A lot of the times I just go to talk. So it's like a 50-50. But when I'm at toy shows, I love to talk. I love to talk about what if you're a vendor, I'll talk about what you have for sale there. If you have an interesting item, I'll ask about that item because I've either never seen it before. If you're walking around and buying or not buying, I will stop you and I'll say, what are you hunting for? Can I come with you? Weird, I know, but I just like talking, especially if you're a cosplayer. I want to know how you made it, why you decided to make it. Do you do this? Like, do you do the convention? Like, I want to know everything about it just because I like to live vicariously. And I think I'm going to start cosplaying this year. I have an idea in mind. I already told Mrs. Padawan what my idea is, and I am so in love with it. I want to debut it. Oh, I can't debut it at the ICCC. One, I don't think I can get the costume ready in time. I think I'm going to debut it at next year's Comic-Con in San Diego. I'll tell, if you're a member, I'm going to tell you what it is because you'll actually see me building it behind the scenes. I'm in love with it. But I'm sorry that Michael Havens couldn't make it, guys and gals. I hope everything's okay. I am going to cut this live stream a little bit short, but I just wanted to say a little bit more about the ICCC and why it feels so intimate. I went on a tangent. Welcome to live. I don't get to do this a lot with you guys, so that's why I'm here. And I am seeing all the guys inside the chat. Let's just go and say hi real quick to everybody. So I see Brandon in there. Brandon, what's going on? Blue, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Yeah, and I would love to go to Echo, and I hope that you can be my tour guide. I will pick you up. We will go. What's up, Gar? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Celebration is very immersive. Yeah, it really is. And like, if you go to Celebration, it's like one of those things where it is Star Wars. Like, there's being a fan of Star Wars. When you're at Celebration, you feel like you're in Star Wars. Very, very weird thing. It's like I can't explain ICCC just like I can't explain Celebration. I can show you what I went through, but to be there and experience it and feel it, it's a different thing. That's why I like the ICCC so much, because I can tell you that it's small and intimate. I can tell you that the best collectors are going to be there. I can tell you that it's more intimate setting when you do meet celebrities. I believe that you get a better experience because it is a smaller venue with the same big celebrities. You have more time with them, and you don't feel the pressure of the big lines building up on you, especially if you have VIP. I strongly suggest you get VIP if you're going to go to the ICCC. That experience is very, very well. Other than other VIPs that I've experienced on the bigger conventions, the ICCC VIP is actually a VIP. I love it. I suggest getting that if they're available right now. Yeah, so back to what Michael's mantra is for the ICCC. And the reason why I'm talking about the ICCC so much, if you've joined us late, is because Michael Havens, who is the creator of the ICCC, the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention, he was supposed to be on. I don't know what happened. Maybe our galaxies got crossed up. I hope everything is okay with him. I'm going to follow up on the thing I was talking about before on why Michael doesn't allow like big corporations in there. It's because he wants to keep it for collectors by collectors. By having corporations not in there, it does not drive up the prices with food, with other things like that. He has more control over the pricing and how the event feels. I really appreciate that. So that along with the aspect of what I'm calling the family atmosphere, not just you can bring your kids, you can bring your spouse, whatever. It's more of the family of collectors that are there, right? I've made a lot of friends, even if they're just acquaintances, right? People that I buy from, or people that I have, YouTube channels. Oh, Sam's, he just showed up. What's up, man? I've met Sam's. He actually gifted me a really cool some Ahsoka items. So I can't wait to see Sam's there again. But it's like that. It's like you buy from people, you maybe sell to people, you maybe are just on the Imperial Commissary, you may be just watching a YouTube channel like mine, and you make friends. And this community is really, really small. So you get to see everybody there. That's what I like about it the most. You will see me. Oh, who was that? You will see me inside the lounge just chatting it up with a lot of people because it's like a family reunion. You either see them on YouTube or you've bought for them or whatever. That's why I like it so much. So Left Coast Graphics. If you have not purchased any art from Left Coast Graphics, do it now. Go to just search Left Coast Graphics. When is ICCC Canada? It's when you start it. I'm pretty sure that you can just go to Michael and say, hey, I want to start something in Canada. Boom, you got it, brother. I will show up. I believe you're in where are you? Vancouver? Are you in Vancouver? I think that's where you said you were last time. So if you're around the Vancouver area, beautiful area, by the way. Very, very clean city. I went to Vancouver maybe about 4 years ago. I could not get over how clean Vancouver is. I was actually I was shooting a commercial or something like that. Forgot what I was shooting. Right next door to Michael Bublé. How Canada is that? I shot a commercial right next door. I was in a house shooting, but right next door, Michael Bublé's house. How Canada is that? So stay tuned tomorrow because I'm going to go through my entire list of how much my Star Wars vintage playsets cost me. I'm sorry that Michael Havens couldn't show up. I'm going to hit him up and see what happens. I bet you money that when I said I'm going to go on at 11 o'clock your time, it probably got stuck in his head that it was 11 a.m. my time, but it's okay. So I hope he's okay with me making the announcement that, let me show right here again. Tim Rose is going to be at the ICCC. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited to see everybody that's been announced there, especially talking to the people that made Star Wars happen, Star Wars vintage toys happen. I'm talking about Jim Swearingen. I'm talking about the people who made the packaging, Kim Simmons. I get to talk to him again. I'll be on the main stage interviewing, whatever I can do. I think this year I'm going as a volunteer, so I'll be on the main stage. Maybe I'll be doing something else, but I want to get in some toy hunting. but I do want to go in there and volunteer my time on the main stage as well. I think that's going to be fun. So thank you for the peeps over at the ICCC. It is a big team. It is not just Michael Havens. It takes a huge team to bring that together. That's why I wanted to volunteer, because I want to make sure that it goes smoothly, and volunteering your time, I think, is the best thing to do for things that you believe in. And I really believe in that community. So thank you everybody for showing up. Sorry that Michael couldn't be here, but and don't forget to watch my show tomorrow to see how much money I spent on the vintage Star Wars playsets. And if you want to watch that video and others, just click on the videos that are on your screen now. And hold on, dude.
Somebody told me noon my time. I live in Central Time, bro.
Oh, you live in Central Time?
Yeah, it's 11:30.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. That's what.
No worries. We can run with it. No, you're a half an hour early. I'm at the toy store.
Dude, let's run with it, man. Hey, thanks for joining. I pretty much set everything up, right? So let's just get right into it, okay? Let's not mess around. So we've already talked about the Imperial Commissary, right? And we already talked about what the Imperial Commissary is, which pretty much leads to the ICCC, the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention. We talked about how I like it because it feels more intimate. It feels more like a family reunion. I've been to Celebration. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con. The corporations are not allowed in here because you want to keep everything affordable. You want to keep everything kind of like, feeling different. I talked about going and getting the VIP, going to, getting signed by celebrities like Ashley Eckstein, and it feels more intimate, right? We already talked about that. Here's the thing that I want to talk about with you is that every time I'm at the ICCC, I always say I'm going to get an interview with Michael Havens. I never do, because you're a busy man. So how is it for you being at the ICCC and seeing all of this in fruition?
I mean, it's nice. It's really nice to see all that you've worked for actually come together. I mean, you know how it is with your podcast channel since it's taken off. It's a really nice feeling. It's great to meet all the people that believe in you, that, buy their tickets early because you say you're going to throw a show, and all the people that come from all over the world, faraway places. It's just really neat, man. I mean, this all started, like you said, with the Imperial Commissary, and it really wasn't like intended at all. We were just doing real life meetups, hanging out together, and then one thing led to another, and they kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the natural progression ended up being just to get a con going. So that's what ended up happening. I got a good deal on the 178,000 square feet. So we just threw a convention. I got William Shatner to come and a bunch of other people, and it just rolled from there, man. And now we're in our 6th rendition of it. And it's crazy, dude. It's just like a snowball going down a hill. It gets bigger every year. It goes faster every year. We get more stuff every year. We get awesome guest stars every year. I mean, the kind of guest stars we're pulling are like 20-year-old con guest stars. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're just really lucky. And the reason why is because we have that reputation going for us that started with the Facebook groups. I mean, we don't like people stealing or selling repro or doing anything fake. And we're genuine people and we're genuine fans. So it makes it pretty easy. I don't know. There's not much of an up learning curve when it's like, oh, blah 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 is calling to be a guest star, and I already know who they are because I'm a Star Wars nerd or a whatever nerd. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough for a lot of these corporate cons. And when you say we don't allow corporate, I don't want to be that guy, because yes, we have corporate sponsors like the Nashville Predators and stuff like that. They're wonderful. We just don't love the corporate con feel. Honestly, if you've ever been standing at a Comic-Con and you're standing in line for 7 hours while there's nobody actually sitting at the table and you're waiting for a signature, that's corporate. And the reason why that's corporate is they stick you in those lines real tight like cattle, because then they could put more people in the building without it being a fire hazard problem.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. I don't know. We're trying to create magic. We're not trying to create a con. You know what I mean? And I think the word con is really good for a lot of those other ones because I don't know. You literally you pay $50 for your ticket, you pay $50 for your parking, you pay $700 for your hotel room. God knows what you pay for flights, this, that, and the other, to go walk into a building and stand there for 9 hours so you can eventually maybe get the autograph you want. I mean, that's a bummer. Why not just pay $500, be done with it? We'll feed you all weekend. You get a VIP badge, and you can walk up and get whatever autographs you want. You've seen it, Joey. It's nuts.
Well, I also noticed somebody walking around in the background over there.
Yeah, that's Andrea.
Yeah, it's your wife, Andrea. And I know that she's a big part of the ICCC. Hey, what's up, Andrea?
Oh, yeah.
See you again.
I tried to get it underneath.
I also know that it takes Andrea. It also takes a huge army to get this done. Yeah, like, and I know your background is like you're a logistics person.
Yes. In real life, I have a trucking company and a logistics brokerage. Yeah.
And you can totally see that along with your wife, Andrea, and the team that you assembled and yourself. This, like, okay, when I go to like Disneyland or when I go to, a show or whatever, even an event. So I was in the events industry for a long time. I know logistics. So when I go to an event and I see how smooth things appear, right? It's like an event that runs smooth. It's like a duck on the water, man. It's like the duck is graceful, dipping down sometimes, but underneath that thing's kicking, right? So when I go to your show, I feel how smooth it is, but I know that you're a duck kicking underwater, man.
Oh yeah, man. It's straight chaos from beginning to end. You got to think about it. You're putting on a convention where not only do you have movie stars and all the things that come with that, not only do you have millions of dollars worth of rare vintage collectibles in the building and all the things that come with that, but you also have thousands and thousands, literally thousands. I don't think people realize how many thousands of people is. Like you put 100 people in a room and people would guess that there's 1,000 people there, but there aren't. Once you put thousands of people in, you have to actually make the flow. It's kind of like sand passing through an hourglass or something. Everybody's trying to get through the same bottlenecks and stuff like that. So you have to make sure that you have different points of entry, different access things. And the things that people never see is, for some reason you go into the photo op room through this door, and for some reason you come out to this door. Well, you also don't understand that makes it so it's not just a complete disaster. So all those things, we look at those ahead of time with maps and everything. And we also make sure we have, 6 feet or more in between the aisles, because I don't know, I'm a big guy and everybody at Comic-Cons and everything wear a backpack, and you like to have the ability to turn around. A lot of places don't worry about that. But those things help the flow, and the less you bump into other people, the happier time you have. So that's what we're going for.
Yeah, there's a question right here. Celebration 2016, 6 autographs for 200 pounds. Last year, 2 autographs for 250 pounds. So I mean, talking about pricing for autographs, the celebrities set their own pricing, right? It's like not a thing that you negotiate with.
At ICCC, they do.
Oh, really?
At every other con in the world, the con takes a cut.
Yeah.
That's why, if you notice, if we have the exact same guest star as, say, Celebration, it'll probably be 30% less or more. You can look at it. Donuts to donuts. I mean, we had one guest star, and she was $100 at ICCC, and then she was at Celebration 8 months later, and she was $275.
Okay.
That happens regularly. The reason why is because any convention, any photo op thing, any whatever can add whatever they want onto it. We're allowed to. We just don't, because here's the thing, man. We're not throwing this for profit. And believe me, you can look at the books. There is no profit like that, like corporate cons. We're never going to afford the rainforest wood coffee table or the private jet. But that's not what we're going for, man. We want you to be able to not only buy that autograph from XYZ guest star, but we want you to have a little bit of money in your pocket to go buy another autograph, or maybe actually eat food that day. You know what I mean? I know there's lots of people that choose between actually getting a sandwich and getting that autograph. And at ICCCon, we try to avoid that as much as possible. Yes. Do the guest stars pick their number? Absolutely. But if you ever wanted to look into the background, into a super secret contract. Just look at what they're charging at ICCC. That's what the guest star's price is. Whenever it's higher than that.
I think that's why I like the pricing because, I'm a huge Ahsoka Tano fan. So I got Ashley's autograph, but I also took advantage of the graders that were there because it was such a reasonable price for me. I got everything that I wanted to get graded. I even brought some things to get graded because of the fact that I can get it signed for a reasonable price and then get it graded. It was like a 2-for-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it allows you to spread it around. And I bet you getting it graded and buying the autograph was still cheaper than getting it anywhere else. For example, I know for a fact, Lando Calrissian, one of our bigger guest stars this year, Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
I know he was at a con about a month and a half ago, and his price was $410. I know for a fact our price is like $105 less than that, or $110 less than that. That's not me choosing that. I mean, I didn't be like, oh, Billy D, you should get $300 for an autograph. That's got nothing to do with me. Yeah. But it does with the other cons. You go look at it, and if they're charging $400, $410, $420, and that's the cool thing about ICC Con is you can really compare us dollars to donuts against any other convention in the world, and you could tell we're the ones not taking a little bit off the top for us.
Yeah. Well, now that you're here, because I did do the announcement that, Tim Rose is showing up.
No worries. For the record, man, Central Time. I'm always on time. This one isn't on me, Joey.
Okay. No. I did say, I hope you're okay. I hope it was just a snafu.
Yeah, I'm alive. It's all good. I felt terrible, man. I saw your messenger message. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I ran up here but that's all right. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Tim Rose. How cool is that? We like to do ones that, man, they don't come to America. Very seldom do you ever find them signing, but also they're a huge part of our childhoods, and it's really nice when they have a vintage figure too,
Yeah, I was always saying he probably has one of the most quoted Star Wars lines ever in pop culture, not just like Star Wars fandom, but pop culture. You say it's a trap, people know it came from Star Wars.
Yeah,
so it's really cool that he's going to be there. Also, I said that it was announced that Jim Swearingen is also making a reappearance there, and that I will be there as a volunteer on the main stage with you guys doing some interviews. So I think that's going to be really cool again too. And I can't wait to do that as well. So that's going to be.
Don't worry, everyone. When he's not doing the interviews, we're going to put him to work. You don't worry about that.
Yeah,
you'll see Joey carrying cases of water out back.
Hey man, I'm down. I strong like bull me,
That's it, brother. But no, that's honestly the way it has all happened, man. It's just wonderful people that already know what they're doing. And look at you. You got a great podcast. You know what you're doing. Look at all those attachments on that $8 million microphone you got. Of course, you come on, you do a little interview with Jim Swearingen or a couple of other things, and we'd love to have you. But that's why you'll notice in the different parts of this thing, whether it's logistics with me or accounting with Andrea or security with our security detail, or even the convention, the way it's run, or the MCs or anything like, everybody's super pro, but we all have exactly what's behind Joey behind him. You know what I mean? We're all nerds at heart that are collectors, and we just happen to be really good at what we do in real life too.
Yeah.
And that's why the real life things just transition into the Star Wars things, Yeah. That's how it all works, man. Wonderful volunteers that know what they're doing, like you, that come out and they're like, I'm a VIP this year, I'm a press this year. And then, hey, you know what, dude, can you use any help? And now you're on the team, Joey. You got no place to go, buddy. Hate to break it to you. You're stuck now.
Hey, it's all good. I want to, it always feels good giving back, especially when you see like other people enjoying it for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people I know that are either they watch this channel or people or collectors that I know are saying, I'm going for the first time this year.
Yeah.
What do I expect? I was like, you can expect a good time. You can't really explain it until you get there.
Yeah.
But it's like my first year there, it was all about, it felt like a family reunion, right?
That's it.
With people that I had never met before. The first, it's like, oh, I recognize you, or I know your name. And it's like, what's up, brother? You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's how it feels. It's like you like-minded people showing up, having a good time in a safe place. It's all good. Michael, I know you're a busy guy. I see you either doing stuff online or like in other channels like mine. So I just want to say thanks for coming on, dude. Can't wait to see you in October. Can't wait to see you in October. And yeah, if you can come on the show anytime, brother. Anytime you want.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I love podcasts like yours. I love people that keep this hobby growing and keep this hobby alive. And I always say, for those first timers, you can't explain Star Wars to them if they're going to watch Star Wars for the first time. But there's probably nothing nicer in the world than sitting on a couch next to somebody that's never seen Star Wars and getting to introduce them to that. And I think that's what ICCC is, man. And that's what you're going to get to see, because you'll see these new folks that just, man, it is not a Comic-Con. It is not a sci-fi convention. It is not a con. It's like, I don't know, a sleepover or something. I don't even know, man.
Totally.
But you got to come see it for yourself. It's a definite, incredible experience. And I'm lucky that I get to experience it every year, even if it is mostly just running around.
Yeah. It's a good time. Well, I can't wait. And thank you so much for showing up. And sorry we got mixed up on the time zones, but hey,
that's all right, dude. Who knows where I live anyway? You're all the way out in California. I don't even know how to do that math, man. Shoot, but
yeah, I know. California, Hawaii, it all mixes me up. But yeah, can't wait to see everybody in October. So Michael, thanks for showing up, and thanks for giving us the little scoop on what's coming up, man.
Absolutely, brother, and I appreciate you, and thanks for coming to help out this year, man. I'm excited to work with you.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, Joey. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, that was Michael Havens. Sorry about the mix-up, everybody. But if you're going, I'm gonna be there. Let's have a meetup. Again, tomorrow, what you're gonna be seeing is what it cost for me to collect all the vintage play sets. So if you're interested in seeing that, click on the videos on your screen now. And as always, my friends, thank you. And I will see you next time.